things like that are, big moments. And rather than me shitting on them, I just kind of take them from what they are and enjoy them. So Star Wars, guys, coming up on Thursday. For those of you who are going, I'm sure everybody's going, are really going to have a great time. And this movie is getting a lot of hype, and everybody who's in it is really proud of it and says that it's something special. So I can't wait to see what the next chapter is. I'm really looking forward to it. And another movie news or movie explosion that kind of happened online was the Independence 2 Resurgence trailer. This, I will say, I saw the trailer, and part of me is excited for it, and the other part of me thinks it looks like a piece of shit. I don't like the fact that Will Smith is not involved. Will Smith was one of the big reasons why that movie was as successful as it was. Or was as successful as it was. I think I might have said that twice. But, you don't have him in the second movie probably because I heard he didn't want to be a part of it. He wanted more money or something. But I think it was actually he wanted more money and didn't get it, so he decided not to do it. But they have, some other great actors in place of that. They have, Liam Hemsworth, and they have Jeff Goldblum coming back, and Bill Pullman's coming back. And, I'm looking forward to seeing those actors come back, and I'm looking forward to seeing Brent Spiner come back. But I don't know how believable this whole thing, I get it, okay, now they're coming back for revenge, and they have a bigger and more crazier ship, and it's just I don't know, I feel like it's one of those movies that just could have been left alone. It ended on a great note. You took down the aliens. We had a great scene, where just, we all came together and took them down. Do your stuff. That's basically what we did. And I kind of sounded like George W. for a minute. I don't know why. But, it was a great moment. It was a great moment in cinema, and I just don't know why we have to bring it back 20 years later and try to make it bigger and better. The only thing I did like from the trailer was the following, where you hear Jeff Goldblum's character saying, I've been for the past 20 years, I've been preparing for this moment. We use their technology to make our planet stronger, but it's not going to be enough. And I thought that was kind of a cool line, and that kind of got me interested in it. But I'm not really going to know what my feelings are until I go to see it. I'm definitely going to go see it because it's Independence Day 2, and it's my buddy Jim's favorite movie of all time. So, and I really enjoy that movie. Every time it's on, I get sucked into it. It was just so well done. I'm just hoping that they don't destroy what Independence Day was with trying to do a sequel. It's kind of like everybody was pumped up for Dumb and Dumber 2, and I was like, I don't know how that's gonna do, and it didn't do well at all. I mean, it did well in box office, but it didn't do well in the hearts and minds of the fans. I don't really know what happened with Dumb and Dumber 2. I mean, if you watch the first one, Jeff Daniels' character, Harry, is actually a pretty intelligent character. I mean, he's kind of common sense stupid, but overall, think about it. He owns a dog grooming company. He has a car that's basically designed to look like a sheepdog. He started his own business. He has his own apartment. He's the one who kind of is the common sense, if there is any, out of the two people in the group. But then in the second movie, they actually make a joke where people think that he might have Asperger's. And it's like, these characters were not retarded or mentally disabled. And I'm sorry I'm using that word, but if you're offended, you know what I'm saying. I don't mean it in an offensive way. They made them stupid, to the point where it was just not believable anymore. So dumb, making them even dumber than the first movie. And I feel like if you're going to be doing a movie 20 years later, they as actors should have maybe paid a little bit closer attention to how they played those characters in the first movie. And I just feel like they went overboard and tried to top the first movie, and there's no way you could possibly do that. No way. So I'm just hoping that there isn't any kind of a similar turnout with Independence Day 2. I'm just a little skeptical about that. I want to like it so bad, but I'm also pretty terrified. Just like I'm terrified about Ghostbusters. But we've already had those conversations, so I'm not really going to get into that. So, moving on, I want to get into one of my segments, and you guys know what that is. It is called
Scenes That Make Me Laugh.
Let the good times roll!
I dated this girl for a while, and she was really a nasty freak. She just loved to get down with sex all the time. She was like, any time of day, she was like, yeah, let's go. I'm so nasty. And I'd be nailing her.
Oh, shit.
She'd be like, oh, you're nailing me. Cool.
She talk dirty to you?
Oh, she loved to dirty talk. Totally into it. She'd be like, yeah, let's screw. I want to fuck. God, it was so dirty. She'd be like, oh, me so horny. Me love you long time.
So every time I hear that scene, I laugh. I know that scene so well that I know the entire thing by heart. That movie, The 40-Year-Old Virgin, by the way, if you guys didn't get it, starring Steve Carell, Paul Rudd, Seth Rogen, you guys know him. It is just such a damn good movie, and it is so well done. Everybody knows somebody who, you think may be a virgin or whatever. So it's just interesting, to actually see a scene like that. And Steve Carell is just a master of knowing how to play awkward. And it is just that no matter how many times I see that scene, it never gets old. And 40-Year-Old Virgin is a movie that I think I could say I've probably seen about 100 times. There was a point in my life where I would watch that going to bed. I would put it on when I woke up in the morning, just as something kind of going on in the background. So I know almost every single line from that movie, and I could still watch it today and it won't get old. And it's a great Judd Apatow film. So I'm a big fan of the movie Funny People. So great movies, Funny People especially because it's about, the life of stand-up comedians and what they kind of go through and so forth. So you kind of get to see a little bit of a behind the scenes. So I hope you guys enjoyed that scene. That is the scene that makes me laugh for this week. Moving on, I did tell you guys that I was going to be doing stand-up comedy, and I am doing stand-up comedy, and I went up for the first time last week, and it was great. I have not been up in close to three and a half years. And it was a little nerve-wracking before I went up. I wasn't sure if I was going to do it when I showed up to the place, but I went with my buddy. I put my name down, and I was I think I was like the 12th person to go because it's open mic. I mean, like you just have whoever comes, put your name down and, you show up, go up, basically. So I went up there, and one of the things that happens to me, and I don't really notice it until I'm kind of in the middle of it and until after I'm done. I went up, did my set, got a lot of laughs, actually, a lot more than I was expecting. There was one joke I thought was going to do well, and it has done well in the past. It was the one joke I was bringing back and didn't do as well as I thought it would do, but I think it was in the way that I told it, because what I was getting to is that I tend to go really fast because I want to get through my entire set because they only had 5 minutes. Usually, I've seen people at this open mic go up on stage and they're up there for like 8-10 minutes. And, he asked me if I had 5 minutes of material, and he was telling all the comedians they're going to get the light this time. So I had prepared a more of a lengthy set. So when I got up there, I was like, man, I really want to get through all these jokes and see what works and what doesn't work. And by trying to do that, I kind of rushed through a couple where they might have been funnier had I taken my time. But that's something that I'm going to get used to again the more that I do it. I'm already prepared to go up this Wednesday and try some new stuff that I came up with this week, some new jokes and stuff, and see how that works. And it's actually exciting because once you kind of get the first time jitters out of the way, which is going to happen if you haven't done it in a while, the next time you go up, you get that adrenaline rush. And I got the adrenaline rush when I was on stage last time, and I love that feeling. It is like it's an addiction, which is why I love doing it. And this week when I do it again, it's going to be just as fun. So can't wait to do it, but I like to go up there and just try new stuff because it's basically you're doing stuff for comedians. It's all comedians with the, exception. There's maybe like 5 or 6, maybe 8, 9 people that are there at this place. It's a bar. It's called Wings to Go. So a lot of people are just kind of showing up, having some wings, having a couple beers, watching the game. And while that is going on and the TVs are kind of on mute, we have the open mic going on. So small place, but if you show up on Wednesday nights, you know that it's comedy time. So you can hang out and watch people tell really bad jokes, really good jokes, and open mic is just kind of has a mind of its own. It's a whole animal in itself. So if you guys aren't doing anything on Wednesdays and you want to come down to Wings to Go in Johnston on Atwood Ave, I will be there on Wednesday nights doing a little stand-up comedy. But and this podcast isn't really me trying to be funny. It's just me kind of riffing and talking about stuff. I don't necessarily come on here and try to do stand-up comedy. So if you guys are like, I listen to his podcast, he's not really funny. Well, that's because I'm not trying to be necessarily funny. I have a different brand of stand-up comedy that is different from this. So, if you guys want to see stand-up comedy, then, you have to come out for that. I'm goofy and I tell a couple jokes here and there. And some of you guys who listen to this have found what I say really funny, and I really appreciate that. It means everything. But I don't necessarily come on here and try to make it a comedy show. But if you laugh at what I say, then that just makes me feel great, and I'm glad that you enjoy it. And I loved it. Those of you who are listening show up every week and feel that what I have to say is funny and is engaging, and you take time out of your busy lives. I know everybody's busy to listen to a 35-minute show by some guy who is sitting in his office right now with his cat on a chair next to him. And my cat follows me around everywhere. I've talked to you about my cat before. He's a G. He really is. So anyway, that's that. I'm really excited about tomorrow. It's a little late. This is probably the latest that I have ever done this year. But tomorrow, which is going to be December 15th, I'll be getting my Christmas tree. 10 days away from Christmas. Why the hell did I wait so long? Well, I'll tell you why. Because I was busy. I had like 4 holiday parties to DJ this month. And, they're usually on the weekends because who has a holiday party in the middle of the week? Yeah. So I've been pretty busy, and so is my fiance, but we're excited to get it tomorrow, set it up, really have some fun with it. Once my Christmas tree up, it really feels like Christmas. Also, there's another staple that has to happen every year. I don't feel like it's actually Christmas until I hear Feliz Navidad. I don't know why that specific song is the one that I need to hear, but for some reason I feel like it's got to be on the radio. It can't be played by me, because if I play it myself, then I'm kind of forcing myself to hear it. It has to be, I'm walking around somewhere in the mall or I'm driving and it comes on the radio. Then I know, like, okay, it's Christmas. And it's so weird because I'm not Spanish at all. I mean, if you guys didn't know that, you've seen my picture. I'm like the whitest kid you know. Honestly, I'm like the redheaded Casper. I'm not Spanish in any means. But, for some reason, that song is, okay, it's Christmas time, And there's a funny thing about me in that song. When I was in 8th grade, I didn't know what the hell the guy was saying. I didn't know he was saying Feliz Navidad, and that meant Merry Christmas. This is honest to God truth. I thought he was saying Release Navidad. Like this, I thought the song was about a prisoner, Release Navidad. Like I thought the guy's name was Navidad. And, people wanted him to get released from prison. So that's what I thought that song was about. I swear. And once I grew up and I was like, oh, it's Merry Christmas. Wow, this whole past 10 years, I was thinking, and I was always thinking, like,